especially whenever you're transitioning from that single stage into dating, because we're at that age now where it's like, I ain't got time to be wasting my time. I ain't got time. And so we're trying to get to the root, in a sense, to get up underneath, the representative a lot quicker. And so we can see, okay, yeah, they got some things that they dealing with. They got some things they may be working through. Now we start thinking to ourselves, is it worth my time?
I think when we come into relationships, we really have to understand that you have two different backgrounds, two different lives, two different people, genuinely different people. And you have to filter through what is unhealthy, what is acceptable, what are we going to redefine?
With me having to relearn, reprocess, rethink what sex was, that was like taking a part of my identity away.
Just because you may need to seek help or you may be in transition and things may not be right, that doesn't necessarily mean that your marriage is bad.
Marriage is a roller coaster ride that never ends.
From the twists of having children, to the turns of overly involved parents, or the highs of buying a new home, to the lows of unexpected lifestyle changes.
Marriage is dope, but let's be honest, fam. Marriage really be tiring.
Welcome to the Left Hand Gang podcast, hosted by Jazz and Spoon.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It is the Left Hand Gang, and we back, season
what's up,
2.
Gang?
Hey, girl.
What up, y'all?
Hey, y'all. I'm talking to you. Hey, girl. How you doing?
Well, I was talking to them.
Okay, you can go back and talk to them. I'm sorry.
Dang.
My bad.
Hey, we missed y'all. Or I missed y'all. Someone's a little selfish.
Yeah,
hey,
just
baby.
Just a little bit. Hey, girl. You fine.
Thank you.
You got your hair did.
I did. Come on, press.
Yes.
Come on, natural.
One time for Miss Tammy.
Miss Tammy be holding it down.
She do be holding you down. Got your nails did. And look at you. Mm-hmm. You just fine.
Thank you, baby.
Like fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You fine too.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah. Duck came through again.
Yeah, man. Duck sauce.
Hey.
One time for the homie Duck. I had to put the hoodie on today.
I appreciate you, Duck, for keeping Duck, my man looking fine.
Duck be looking out for your boy. One time for the homie Duck. He gonna always get your boy right.
Hey.
Man, we got so much going on. So much happening with us. We just got to update y'all real quick. Welcome y'all back the right way. And just get into what we got to get into today. Man, what's new on our plate, baby? What we doing?
Whoa, what is not new on our plate? Okay, so first of all, you're starting a new job, which I think you talked about last season.
Yeah.
But you like starting.
Yeah. Well, I already started.
Yeah. Sam's is like full blown happening.
Yeah, so
like,
she launched it, y'all.
I did it. So last season, I was thinking I was just going to do like pop-up workshops. But then God gave me the idea to do like an actual program where I work with girls for X amount of months. And I work with groups, and I also do one-on-one mentoring as well. And so the one-on-one mentoring has like taken off. And I'm so grateful. Like it's like this was a dream. I remember we were dating when I had this like given to me by God, and I had this desire. Yeah, I think it was my first year of teaching, or it was my senior year of college. I can't remember. Yeah, but I remember sitting at your house and sharing that, and I was like, I can't wait to do it. And then like 7 years later,
you sat on it.
I mean, I was teaching, dog.
You were
like,
teaching, you sat, you taught and sat.
I appreciate you sliding that in there.
I mean,
whatever.
You know.
Nugget is full blown crawling.
Oh yeah, he out here. He crawling,
he pulling
up.
He think he can walk.
And he talking. He been talking.
I mean, he ain't making sense to us.
Yeah, it's okay, but he talking. He communicating.
What else we got, baby?
Yeah, I mean, well, as far as me and the new job, so I'll be starting, or I have started really as a leadership development and relationship coach at Aspen House Associates. So really looking forward to that. And eventually I'm tightening up a couple of things, and I got a test to take. Eventually I will be a licensed therapist. So Whew, I'm finally putting that degree to use, or them
Yeah.
degrees rather to use.
Yeah.
And still dissertating in these streets. So
Yeah.
I'm still working on that. Y'all keep us in prayer. Keep me in prayer with that, because that dissertation, it be dissertating. It just be dissertating.
And of course, we still have the ministry that we're a part of, that we serve at.
Yep.
And so we're busy out here in these streets.
The
gang is ganging.
Yeah, the gang is ganging.
And merch is being developed.
Yeah, it's on the way. Y'all.
So that's exciting.
Yes, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And y'all better buy everything. Y'all just better buy everything. Nah, but we definitely can't wait to utilize merchandise as well as a way of just as another extension of what we do and how God is using us. So we just can't wait to get into that, man. For real, we're looking forward to it. Speaking of other new things we got going, so all last season, y'all heard from Jazz and Spoon all last season.
Yup.
And I'm glad that a lot of y'all thought that we knew a thing or two. However, Jazz and Spoon do not have the secret sauce to everything in y'all's relationships.
God didn't give us that.
He didn't give us everything.
And we know that.
And by his wisdom, we also knew that we ain't got the sauce. Mm-hmm. So that being said, we are going to be having some more guests on. So I cannot wait.
We're so excited.
Man, I'm so excited. And I mean, we starting off with a bang, y'all. We really are going to start off with a bang.
Yes. So excited, y'all.
All of February. And it's so coincidental because it's Valentine's Day and all that other stuff. We ain't planning
that. You're right.
So coincidental. But we really are going to start off with some pretty, I would say, high profile guests who are going to be spreading the message, man, about just godly marriage and how it's supposed to be done, and how we how we intend on really launching this season off is we're gonna spend a couple episodes talking about singleness,
and dating.
That's just where we at, because we got a lot of single friends out here who just trying to find the right kind of love, and I ain't mad at y'all.
And people reached out, and said like that's kind of an area like that they would love to hear more about, and so be answering that. If you didn't put your question in, it's too bad.
Hey, this
it's
is
not
how
too
it
late
is.
though. You can always DM us.
Yeah, you can, but we may not get to it. No, I'm just playing. But so that's how we're kind of gonna do things, and I mean, just thinking about kind of where we are, we really had a big challenge trying to like remember singleness for us, because it was years ago, but our single experiences were just different. Like a lot of what I experienced personally was Spoon was always in a relationship. So I didn't really get to feel the full on, just, I don't even have a word, but I never got to experience singleness to the fullest like a lot of people have.
Right.
Like I legitimately, from junior year of high school all the way up until I met Jazz, I was consistently in a relationship. And I'll even say with that's how a lot of us are, and we end up jumping from relationship to relationship, not really being able to figure out who we are, what our purposes are, just our own identities. And by the grace of God, I fortunately was able to do that alongside Jasmine, even though I jumped from relationship to relationship.
My story is actually very similar. Being in like consistent back-to-back relationships. And what is it called? Long term.
That's what I'm long term and long distance.
But like I had several long-term relationships. So for me, singleness looks different than, like you said, a lot of my friends.
And on I guess if I want to make it positive, it shows that we committed, we loyal.
Or that you're a lover boy.
Or I'm definitely a lover boy. I am a simp to the fullest. I am going to acknowledge it. I am.
You own it, baby.
I am. I don't have no choice. That's who I am. I mean, I would say that's who God made me to be, but I did some of that stuff too. So there was a collaborative effort in me becoming a simp.
Touche.
Just the reality of it. But in still trying to figure out, who I was, who I was destined to be, and you trying to figure out who you were destined to be. There were some rifts and some challenges and some hardships that we dealt with while dating. Yet and still, I mean, you just imagine you have two people who come from, I guess, a background of having multiple long-term, long-distance relationships, and then they finally get together. You have a lot of different expectations, a lot of different perspectives that can definitely cause some issues or cause some challenges. I mean, not to mention just personalities in general. Go into that and how a lot of those challenges, can show up in the dating side of things. And we were talking to a friend the other day, and basically what they were asking was, what are some of the conversations that married people or people who are potentially desiring or who potentially want to get married or desire marriage, what are some of the things that they should discuss or talk about from singleness to courting to dating to engagement to marriage? And there are certain things that he was asking, which I felt was very interesting, just about how some people have the perception that it's kind of like this on and off switch. Okay, I have these conversations whenever we're in this stage of our relationship. Okay, we've moved on from that one. Now it's this type of conversation. We talk about kids now. We talk about marriage now. We talk about finances now. And for a lot of people, it's not that cut and dry. It's one of those things that kind of organically happen. Or even a big rift that happened with us when we first started was this thing called quote unquote difficult conversations. And I love to have difficult conversations. I mean, I'm like, let's do it. Let's hash it out so we can be better. I can be better for you. You can be better for me. But your girl over here, she wasn't rocking with it. Like what kind of comes to mind for you, kind of reflecting back on those times, like those difficult conversations and how they made you feel?
So I want to be clear that, like, for me, I would consider myself a random person. So like when we had like random conversations that weren't really digging deep into emotions or my own, like if it was more surface level, like I was okay with having those conversations. I really welcomed them. Like, I'm trying to think of something like, tell me 10 random things about you. Which in fact is why your name is what it is in my phone still to this day. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
And like things like that, or like, what is your view on such and such? Like, I loved having those kind of conversations because it helped me to see you. I like just talking and, that kind of thing. But when you started asking questions that made me feel like, I felt as if my character was being attacked, or it was coming up against what I have always done or what I've always believed, and it was more attached to my identity, then I didn't like those questions. And I can't even remember, like, honestly, that's so long ago. That's like, what, 6 years ago? Bro? Like, I can't even remember. But what's coming up for me is when we actually establish, like, okay, these are the ground rules for having difficult conversations. You have to announce that you're about to have a difficult conversation, because I didn't like you springing things on me, because it changed my whole mood. And I'm a processor. So like, I need time to think about what I'm going to say. I need time to like really dissect what it is that the topic that we're talking about. So I have my points ready. And so
get your PowerPoint together.
And so A lot of the time I just threw up a wall because I wasn't ready. And I felt like you were attacking me when you weren't,
Not
but that's
at
just
all.
what it felt like. And after you announced, like after we sat down, you know, we decided to say, okay, we're going to have these difficult conversations, and we just gonna have to sit in that, like whatever that looks like, whatever that moment is. You, Jasmine, can decide when you're ready to do that. Like if this isn't a good time, you can say, I'm not ready to have a difficult conversation right now, but I'll come to you when I am. Or, you know, you maybe throw it out there like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. I need to have a difficult conversation. I could decide, yes, I'm ready, or I'm not. And the same worked for you. It just happens to be that you're always ready.
Yeah, I'm always ready.
And I'm thankful now we don't have to do that. Like common courtesy, we might, depending on how
Yeah.
the severity of whatever it is. But now, you know, we can just say how we feel, and I don't have to wait until like, you know,
until you're ready.
everything is perfect for me to be ready to have a conversation with you.
Yeah. And like, and it sounded real pretty how she said it, but it really wasn't that pretty at the time.
No, it wasn't.
It was not. It was.
I'm talking silent treatment.
Yeah, it was
attitude.
It was pretty. It was very. I guess the way that I can say it, it was silently intensive. Because you know, even when somebody don't say nothing, you can tell the whole vibe of not just the room, not just the house, but just the day, how it just changes when you bring up difficult conversations or difficult topics. And we also, I think we should clarify, difficulty, it ranges for people.
Yes.
Because like, and you know, this was back when we were in college. And so she'd be over at the house all the time. And, you know, at the time, I'm always busy, but I was really busy at that point in time too, between work, events, blah, 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 school. And I had asked Jess, I said, hey, you know, I could really use your help, you know, just help, you know, helping clean up the house, cook or whatever. I just need your help. Now for me, that was real simple.
Because what I'm not is your wife. Because what I'm not gonna do, my things are important. Like I work, you know, I'm busy. I'm grading papers and all. That's what I heard.
I just asked for help.
Live it.
I just asked for help. Again, this is like 6-7 years ago. I legitimately asked for help. I mean, you over here, you kicking it. You know, we in a relationship. You supposed to, in my mind, I politely asked for help. And like, what else came up for you?
That was, oh wait, sorry.
Like what else came up for you? Because we were talking about something else a moment ago.
I feel like one, you were asking me to step into a role that I knew that I wasn't. And it was just like this strong, independent woman syndrome that I had at that time. And it was like, I'm not your wife, you know, I'm not your homekeeper. Like, I'm not going to clean your house and stuff like that. And, you know, I grew up in a household where there weren't gender roles that were the same. The gender roles in my home didn't match the world. So like my mom was not the one who was cooking dinner every night. She wasn't the one that was cleaning the house. Like it was a shared effort. My mom worked and still does. Like I come from a family of medical professionals. And so like, you know, being on call and things like that was normal. Mm-hmm. So my mom is used to working a lot and still is. Shout out to you, Mama. I love you. And so I felt like when you asked me to do that, you were degrading the things that are important to me and who I am. And I felt like you were saying that my work wasn't important, or that I had all this time to spare, or that's my job to do because that's what society says. And for me, it was like, no, because that's not what I'm used to seeing. So no, I can't do that.
I wasn't trying to put nobody in no gender roles, and I mean, you over here.
I remember I was like, well, I can just go back to my place. Like, I don't have to keep coming over here.
No, and I was like, what? I just asked you to help out. I didn't, and that never said that I was gonna stop doing what I was doing. A player just asked for help. You finna say something?
I was, but never mind.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna. It made me think about the communication script. That's all. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, well we weren't educated back then.
Yeah.
That was like one of them. Or like whenever you were talking about a moment ago, your character being attacked. Whenever I would say, hey, you did blah, 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 and I didn't like it. Or it wasn't cool that you responded like this. Or, hey, I noticed when I said this, you you shut down. And so even in those instances, those were difficult things for you to kind of filter through and walk through. Because as you said, it was like attacking your personality, attacking your character. Did you feel a sense of like me trying to change you?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that there was a lot of resistance, obviously, but that I did feel that way. Especially like, okay, another one that comes up for me is, remember how like in the mornings I didn't like to talk?
Oh yeah.
So I had this thing, like it was just who I was. And now that I think about it, my household was the same way. My mom is the same way. She's a lot better now. My brother, I think he's still like that. But like in the morning when we first wake up or a nap or whatever, like don't talk to me. Like, especially in the morning, like fam, like leave me alone. Like I need like time to just get my mind together. Like, and I don't want to do that with you. So, and I just didn't want to talk. And I hated that you wanted to talk to me in the morning and you know I don't want to talk. Like, stop talking to me. And then for you to say like, I forgot how you said it. Of course you said it nicely, but to me it felt like you were attacking or coming against who I am. Like, this is who I am.
Yeah,
right?
Let me be me.
And there's a lot of times in relationships where we get to that, right? Like where it's like, this is just who I am. But you have to decide what things are just who you are or what things just need to have a compromise. Like you need to change or the other person is going to understand this is who I am. Yeah. I think that's where love comes into play. That's where maturity comes into play because that was something that I did need to bend on, I think. But in some relationships, that might be the thing that you're like, okay, I just leave her alone in the morning or I leave him alone in the morning. But what really helped with that is I worked at a open concept school, remember? Oh, yeah. At Williams Elementary. It's no longer open concept, but in Lubbock, Texas. And so basically...
Before you go into that, not everybody educators. What is open concept?
I was about to say it. I said, so bad. Basically,
my bad, cuz.
So basically, each classroom only had 2 walls, and so like think of like if you walked into a building and there were like it was just open space. That's essentially what our classrooms were like. But we made dividers with bookshelves. We would stack bookcases on top of one another. So like you had dividers. For example, like. If like how we're sitting in this room right now, the sides of this room may be made up of like bookcases and lockers all the way up to the ceiling. But I have like a small opening where you could walk in and then there's a wall in the front and the wall in the back. So like it was just, yeah. And the theory, I forgot, I think it was the 60s. I don't remember. But like the theory was that like kids can learn subconsciously. Yeah. So while you're sitting in this classroom, you can hear the teacher next door teaching. And so you're learning math while you're in social studies. That didn't work, especially with ADHD on the rise. It was a hot mess. Yeah. But I say all that to say, because we didn't have 4 walls, walking into the building, everybody sees you when you come in and they're like, good morning. Hey, good morning. Like you can't walk down a hallway or walk through the building and not be seen because, So I had to get used to it. I tried putting my headphones in, you know, and I would just like power walk to my classroom, but that didn't really work. And then I learned, Jazz, you got to grow up. Like you've graduated from college, like you can't ignore people forever, you know, and is that really reflecting Christ? Like if they're in a great mood and they want to say good morning, just say good morning back, dog. So I grew up and I started saying good morning. It was really hard, but then that transferred over to home and with you.
So grateful for that. Y'all. But on the other side of things, I had to be patient.
Yeah.
I had to learn to be patient.
Yeah.
And y'all, it would burn me up on the inside because I'm like, yo, I had this dream last night and this and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I just had to sit there and I just had to wait. I had to hold my dream.
Yep.
Or whatever crossed my mind or idea. Because I always got some crazy idea.
Yeah, don't come in here with that.
But I couldn't. And a lot of times, I think I'm just now realizing this too, and it's just now hit me. I've never shared this, but I also think that I was in fear of forgetting because I had so much.
That's fair.
So much going on and so much I was doing. I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to forget the details of this dream or the details of this idea." And writing it down is cool. I could have done that, but it's not the same. It's not as fresh.
Yeah.
You know, when it's fresh, you got to get it out like right
yeah,
then.
I understand. Yes.
But I had to learn to be patient and allow her to come into that space to where she was ready to share.
I also think that something that helped me with our difficult conversations and just transitioning through dating is when you start dating, you realize the person that I'm with did not have the same life that I had.
Right.
And coming into a relationship with you, I grew up with my mom and my stepdad. They were married for a period of time. They did end up separating. So I do remember life with just a single mom, and I remember life with a stepdad. And then after that, I remember life with a single mom. And those are different. My mom was in different places. And I noticed the imbalance in my home. I noticed how my idea of what relationship looked like was through the eyes of how I grew up.
Yeah.
And you grew up with your mom and your dad, biological mother and father, and a brother.
Yeah.
Completely different from me.
Yeah.
You lived in Arlington like all your life.
My whole life.
We were so mobile. I went to like 8 or 9 different schools. Like, so, and you grew up with the same people, like your friends and your phone, your group chats are the same dudes that you went to school with.
Yeah.
That's not the case for me. You know what I mean? So my perception was really, my bubble was bursted. My perception of this is how I can be, this is who I am, and this is acceptable was shot when you would come and say things like, you know, I would really like it if you would talk in the morning, or can you at least say good morning? Like, no, like in my home, we said morning, or, you know, you hit one of those and like head nod and you keep it moving, go make your cereal. And then when I'm ready to talk to you, I'm gonna come talk to you. Same thing with when I'm angry or when I was bothered. I shut down. I just didn't want to talk. I wasn't mad at you, but I am going to be mad at you if you keep asking me to talk to you and what's wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how I grew up. And I think when we come into relationships, we really have to understand that you have 2 different backgrounds, 2 different lives, 2 different people, genuinely different people. And you have to filter through what is unhealthy, what is acceptable, what are we going to redefine?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe yours is unhealthy and mine is toxic. Okay, we're going to recreate and make this instead.
Yeah.
And I think that's what dating, once you start getting serious with someone, is all about. Because in the beginning, I think you're just trying to figure out like, you cute, but do I like you like you? You know what I mean? Like, what's your mind like? You know?
Yeah, like where you at?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, how do you spend your time? You know, like, what are your conversations like? Are you talking about, I don't know, what's something that I wouldn't be like, I'm trying to think. I don't even know what dudes be talking about that would.
Sports.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about sports all day. Are you self-absorbed? Do you talk about yourself all day? You know, like, do you never talk about your family? Okay, why? Like, you know, there are things like that you're filtering through in the beginning. But then I do believe that you reach a point where those difficult conversations have to be had, and you have to understand, like, I'm repeating myself now, but essentially, you know, like, what do I feel like needs to be changed about me? What needs to be changed about him? And being mature to be able to like do that.
Yeah. And you talking about the changes that people must go through. We also have to be self-aware. Where am I at?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of us, we're so quick to evaluate where everybody else is. Because, I mean, that's what we're doing when we're dating, right? I'm evaluating you, seeing where you at, maybe how much money you make, what your status is, what you post on social media, where you plan on ending up in the future. So we're evaluating. We're evaluating ultimately their representative and not really being able to get underneath the representative to really see who this person is because it's scary, especially whenever you're transitioning from that single stage into dating, because we're at that age now where it's like, I ain't got time to be wasting my time. I ain't got time. And so we're trying to get to the root, in a sense, to get up underneath, the representative a lot quicker. And so we can see, okay, yeah, they got some things that they dealing with. They got some things they may be working through. Now we start thinking to ourselves, is it worth my time?
Yep. How bad is it?
How is it that bad? How much grace can I show with this?
Yeah, that's so good.
Not realizing that the other person, if they aren't, should be doing the same thing with us. So are we aware of actually where we are? Because when we start asking ourselves that question, can I work with what they have? Should I reverse that question on myself? Can other people work with what I have?
Ooh.
Can they work with me and my trauma? Because eventually those things that have either traumatized you've gone through, or still working through, many of them with no resolution whatsoever. We got to ask, we got to be mindful that we're going to have to eventually divulge those things. Eventually, we're going to have to tell those things. Eventually, we're going to have to share them. And now we get to thinking, ooh, I don't know if I want to share that one just yet. But if you plan on being with that person forever, eventually it has to come out. Eventually it will. So, I believe that in that dating aspect, we have to be grounded. We have to be mindful and aware of not just our evaluations of other people, but other people's evaluations of ourselves and our own personal evaluations of ourselves.
Yeah, that's so good. Listening to you talk got me thinking, like, okay, the train is now chugging. The
train is chugging.
The memory train makes me think
it's coming back.
It makes me think of Rachel when she said the slow people in her brain. Or
my goodness.
But I'm kind of excited to talk about this on one of the future episodes about, like, so yeah, we're talking about our singleness right now, but remember when we did get engaged and like the conversation of marriage started coming up? Right. That's a whole different convo, and your girl wasn't ready. Like, I didn't want to be a wife. I was like, I'm good.
When we were engaged, when we were dating?
When we were dating.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Technically, it was when we were dating. So, maybe we can talk about that, like what that transition was like for you as a man, like, okay, I think this is the one, we've been dating for a while. Yeah. And what that was like for me. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, eventually. You talking about now?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
I said next episode.
Oh, you didn't say next episode.
Well, future episode is what I said.
You said we can talk about it.
Future episode, dog.
Just kind of
rewind
left me right
it.
there.
Rewind it and go see. Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Go listen to it.
I mean, I edit it, so of course I'll see it.
So you gonna hear it.
I'm gonna hear it too. But like, see what you did. This what you said.
Yeah, what I said.
Yeah, because there comes a point in time in the dating where for a man it just switches, and he knows. And for many men,
I said future episode.
I know. I just want to just a little seasoning, little seasoning. That's it.
Okay.
A little Southwest seasoning, just a little bit, little paprika, little pap.
The smoke pap though.
Yeah,
smoke paprika really hit different.
Yeah, smoke pap.
Get you some smoke paprika.
Yeah. We just put y'all on. But there was a moment in time that I knew, and for a lot of men, they know as soon as they either engage in the first conversation, when they're not even dating but just courting. Us men, we be knowing.
Yep, y'all do.
We be knowing, and so I can't. I'm really looking forward to talking about that because it's real dope, and I kind of get a little excited.
Excited.
Little excited.
Excited.
No X, just excited.
Excited.
Yeah, excited.
Wait, is there an E?
Huh?
Is there?
It's kind of like
Excited.
an ES
Excited.
blend. No, it's not like excited, but excited.
Say what?
Just excited.
I love it.
Yeah. No X, but a blended ES. Excited.
Okay,
Just a
we
little
didn't learn that
excited.
blend.
Yeah, no, that's
in
mine.
school.
That's a spoonism right
I like
there.
it. I like it.
Man, so whoo-wee. Yeah, singleness and dating. I'm looking forward to our guests. Who
I
gonna
really
be,
am. I really am too.
Because like us having this conversation, it just kind of like got so many things going.
Yeah.
And reminded me of like, oh yeah, I was tripping. Yeah, I do remember when Jazz was kind of hot at your boy for that one. And
What?
you know, just some things.
No.
Just some things. You been mad at me for talking to you in the morning?
Oh.
But anyways. You got any closing thoughts? Anything?
No, you already said it. I'm excited for our future guests.
Yeah, I can't wait to have them. But in the meantime, man, y'all stay on the lookout. Merch is coming. It's coming. It is coming. Oh, also, before we dip out of here, so we have an opportunity for you guys to financially support us. Maybe you don't want to buy no merch, or maybe you just feel compelled to bless us for whatever reason. So we have a Patreon account, and on there you can give, you can donate, you can become a monthly subscriber, which of course we would love for y'all to do to bless us. And there are different tiers and everything, so please feel free to just join the movement with us. We really would love for you guys to partner with us in really spreading this message about redeeming godly marriage and what it truly means and what it looks like. So the links will be down in the descriptions, and y'all just hit the link, do all that stuff, and we appreciate y'all showing love and support to the gang, man. We appreciate y'all. So baby,
you
fine.
I appreciate it, dog.
You appreciate it? I appreciate you appreciating my appreciation.
Boy, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we're excited for season. I just hit the mic.
Yep, we good.
We're excited for season 2.
Man, y'all be easy.
Peace.
Thank y'all so much for tapping in with the Left Hand Gang podcast.
Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and rate us.
And lastly, please don't forget to check out our website. That's lefthandgang.co for merch and ways to stay connected.
Catch you next episode.
Gang.